Got to have faith. Not only should you have faith, as in religion, but you should have faith in yourself that you will do the right thing. Hello, everyone. Um, Lots of chicken drama on the farm. You want to talk about drama? These chickens here are drama queens. So anyway, I want to talk about being prepared. Now, I used to can a lot. I mean, a lot. And this was before I started couponing. When I started couponing, yeah, I was getting canned goods fairly cheap. And in the long run, it was cheaper than canning. Since that time, my canner is not all that great, and I'm a little scared of it. I did buy a new stock pot this year to do my jellies, my jams, my preserves, my pickles. I do have that new stock pot. So I figured I would wait until Black Friday and maybe try to find a really good canner or a decent canner that I can use this winter and do some canning out of the grocery store. I did not have a garden this year. I did have a couple tomato plants and a couple pepper plants. I did plant basil, catnip, all kinds of mints and rosemary, and that has all done very, very well. But I did have some tomato plants. I do have some voluntary tomato plants with little tiny ones on it, and we will enjoy those. But here's my deal, okay? Right now, my life is so unorganized. Everything is up in the air about everything. Now that I know I'm not going to be having a surgery of any sort, I can kind of get back to getting things ready, because I never knew when I was going to get this surgery that was supposed to be happening. It seemed like forever and ever, and then it was delayed because of this and it was delayed because of that. And so finally I said, you know what, I've had enough. We'll just settle out. And that's what we did. So now I've got a playing field where there's no income coming in. I've tied most of my settlement up in a financial situation that I thought was secure. I have some to live on, but I will have to make a little bit of money, and I don't know how I'm going to do it other than just finding a job that I can do. It has to be a weekly income of some sort just to keep the bills up to par, or, whatever needs to be done. At this time, my husband is not working. There is no income from him. We'll kind of find out his future tomorrow. Anyway, there's so much going on that canning just wasn't part of it. Not only that, but with no air conditioning in the house, no summer kitchen usable for canning, I had no outside facility for canning, not to mention it just wasn't going to happen this spring and summer. But I do have tons of berries to get out of the freezer and to can. And I will be doing that because every time there was a really good berry deal, I would get them. We would eat some. I would freeze some. So that's kind of what we did. We would eat some of the fresh fruit, and then I would put a baggie away in the freezer. So we've got a lot of blueberries. Oops. We have a lot of blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries up there that I need to make preserves. And I might just make all one big kind, or do some blueberry syrups type stuff too for pancakes, which I think would be awesome. Okay, so that's why I've not been canning, but yes, canning is very important if you can do it. If you cannot can, the best thing to do is to find deals at the grocery store. You find these cans that are cheaper. Okay, they might not taste like your canned food. I don't know what to tell you. I have so much canned and dehydrated food that I really don't have any room for anything else. I found the peanut butter deals. I didn't even buy any peanut butter that was 99 cents this week because I didn't have to. I've got tons of peanut butter. And the reason I keep tons of peanut butter, number one, is because of my dogs and their bones, their hollow bones. It's just a really good thing. I don't do it very often anymore now that they're two, but when they were younger and you had two of them bouncing off the walls, you had to do something. You had to go take a pee or change your clothes or, run down and swap out the laundry. You don't leave two Great Danes running around in your house like crazy animals, like deer or goats or whatever. You don't do that. So anyway, I don't need a whole lot. I do need to organize. I need to redo my cabinets. I need to redo everything in front of the freezer. I've got a shelf that has stuff on it. But the things that I know that I need the most of are paper towels, cat litter, garbage bags. Garbage bags is a big one on my list now. So I try to do a garbage bag deal every week. I didn't get to do it because the game thing didn't work this week. But next week, I think I have it under control. So I need to go through and see what I have. What I have is I have like grocery bags, great big grocery bags. I have some hanging on the walls now that have peanut butter. They have granola bars, cereals, rices, things like that in it, pasta. So I need to take all of those bags down and possibly get rid of some old stuff or use it up right away and then stock those back up and hang them on my walls so that way I can relieve some floor space because we really need to get the house cleaned before fall. I mean, it needs to be cleaned badly. And now that we've had Solomon in there, I need to do some deep cleaning again. So that's something that needs to be done at the house. That's more important than canning right now, is to get everything organized. Another goal I have is to get all of our comforters, dog beds, blankets, all of those things washed at the laundromat. I've dumped my change once out of my purse. I've got it in a container, and then I'm going to take it, and whatever that is what I'm going to use for the washing machines to wash all of our winter stuff. So that way it's not taking out of our now budget. It's not taking out of the budget that I have lined up coming up in September. And I'm only going to do this for September and see how it goes. There may come a time when my neighbor decides he wants to go to the food pantry again, and then I'll go there and I will participate in the food pantry when he decides to go. There is no income coming in on either side, my husband or I. So I've got to do with what I have. And the reason that I won't be doing a whole lot of grocery shopping, I will do a weekly shop, but the reason I won't do a whole lot of it, because we need to use what we have. We're overflowed. There's only two of us. We haven't been eating, and I've got meat to use. I've got rice to use, and I have hundreds of pounds of rice, hundreds of pounds of dried beans, hundreds of pounds of pasta. I did lose one bin of pasta not too long ago. I had a bin sitting in the barn. It was a sealed bin. Everything was sealed. Nothing could get into it. No bugs, nothing. And I sat it outside of the barn, and the next morning, a coon had opened up the container, and so I just let him have all of that pasta. That was a whole, I don't know how many gallons of a container it was, but they took every bit of it. I know that it was very heavy. It was probably at least 60 pounds of pasta, prepackaged pasta, and I lost all of that. But I also saved it up for the chickens because they love spaghetti. They love pasta noodles of any kind, but spaghetti's their favorite. It's easy for them to do. Okay, so I got out my whiteboard, and what do you think? You can't even see it. But I've decided that I'm going to try to do a $25 a week Kroger shop. The breakdown will be $12 of meat and protein or protein, $6 of fruit and vegetables, and then $7 for prep or other items that I need. Now that's only $25 on the breakdown. However, with coupons and the digital coupons and the deals that are going on, chances are I can get more than what I just named for that $25. So I'm going back to that. And I even considered doing like a $50 Visa gift card if I can get 4 times the fuel points, and just go and buy a $50 gift card twice that month for 2 shops. Now, I will be going between Kroger and JC to see who has the best deals of what I need for that $25, but that's what I'm going to do. I also budgeted myself $25 for Dollar General a week. And the reason I did that is because I always need those paper towels, those laundry detergent deals, those deals that you can't get anywhere else. And when you do a 5 off of 25, or this week coming up a 10 off of 40, which, ladies, I'm telling you, the 10 off of 40 is a really good deal. You can even, I think, and I'm not sure, combine that with the Gain 5 off of 30. So that way you are $10 above that $30. And when that 10 comes off, it comes back down to the 30 of your Gain products. So just think about that. If you do $30+ worth of Gain products, and there's a lot of them, a lot of different ones that I want. I want that dish liquid, the spray stuff. I want the garbage bags. And then I'll use the little things that I really don't need, but I'll use those to get the money down. I ended up getting it down on paper. Let's see here. With the Airwick deal, it ended up being $34.35 of Gain, and then it ended up being $10.50 of the Airwick. And the reason I have to do all 3 Airwicks at once is because I have all 3 clipped. I have the 6 off, the 225, and the 225. So I've got 3 Airwick coupons. One of them is what? I think it's 75 cents overage, and then the other 2 are overage. And so anyway, it was $10.50 worth of Airwick with $10 off. So that was like 50 cents on the Airwick, okay? And which I think that's not quite right, but somehow that's how it came off. And then that added to the $34.35 of Gain. With all of those discounts, coupons, and so on and so forth, I got it down to $7.06 on here. That doesn't mean it's going to work, because trust me, I've been fighting with this Gain deal for quite a while. Yesterday I fought with the 5 off of 15 all snuggle Persil deal. Don't try it with 3 of the alls with the 2 coupons, the 3 off of 2 and the $1.50 off of 1. That $1.50 off of 1's not going to come off, and for some reason, the 5 off of 15 didn't come off either. The 3 off of 2 came off. So what I'll do is I'll throw that Persil back in there, do 2 alls of Persil, and that should bring it down quite a bit. But I'm going to do that one with a different 5 off of 25. I'm going to add that one to the one that has the razor, the toothbrushes, so on and so forth, that makes it with some overage and so on and so forth. But I also wanted to do the trash can. They have garbage cans that have an instant $2. The one I'm looking at is a roller garbage can. It's $18.75. Has a $2 instant, which makes it $16.75. Well, using $16.75 as my focus product for that 5 off of 25, I might even be able to add that 3 off of 15 on there and somehow figure it out. It might not work out as well as I'd like it to work out. So, that $16.75 has no more discount to it. So anything I add after that $16.25 to get to the 25 is going to have to really be low out of pocket. So I'm not sure how to do that one yet. All I know is I got the Gain and the Airwick down to $7.06. Now, I don't need the Airwick. I don't need it. But this right here gives me 2 of the plugins and then 2 of the refills. So right there, I've got 2 little things I can throw in a bag, or, plug into my house because my house stinks, but I just don't like to use that much electrical stuff in my house. I have an old house, and it scares me. Anyway, so that is that right now. Just trying to survive. So back to prepping. I know I got off on a tangent, but that's how my mind thinks when it comes to couponing and the deals and everything. I never want to pay retail for something. You know, even if it's just $2 off that garbage can, and then say I have a really good deal on there, I'm going to get more off of it and come out with more products than just the garbage can for the price of the garbage can, if that makes sense. Anyway, something else we need to know too is when you do can, or if you dehydrate or everything and all of that, you still need backups. A shelf can be wiped out with one thing, and if you're in jars, you know, the jars will be wiped out. So if you live in an earthquakey area, or even if you don't, be prepared for that. Make sure you have things on your cabinets that your jars will not break. That's very important. You can have busted seals. Always check your seals. You know, right now, I do have some canned products that I did earlier this year, but it's going to be a long time before I can again. Well, until I get my berries out of the freezer, I will do those. Holes with deals. I do have some holes in my preps, and I think I just mentioned that. Paper towels, coffee, always coffee, everything you use every single day. Everything that you use every single day should be the priorities of your preps. And I know people say, well, but we need, no, what you use every day will determine if you're going to live more comfortable or not, because we want those daily needs covered. Hopefully you're doing some hygiene. Just saying. What else? Really, there's nothing else to say except for that we all need to be prepared. You know, I have cats. I have I have a cat. I have dogs. I have goats. I have chickens. And I have to think of ways to feed them as well. So I have to always be thinking of, what do I have in my cabinets? If it's expired, it's going to the animals. I'm not going to throw it out. If it's expired, I might eat it or just put it back for a little bit until I re-up that expiration dated food. And then I'll go. I've got tons of canned beans. I bought every kind of canned bean you could think of. When the Vista beans were on sale for 99 cents and less, I was buying them at every Kroger or JC I went to. I have a whole cabinet that's nothing but canned beans. I'm just saying, you know, dried beans. I have hundreds of pounds of beans, probably at least 200 pounds of dried beans of all sorts. We all have a great day. Hugs from a distance, just a little rambling. I got to get back to the chicken and goat drama. There's so much drama going on here. We got to get to it. Bye, y'all.